Hello, welcome back to TV Unleashed. I'm Sammy. Welcome back, Mandy, and congratulations on finishing graduate school. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Tomorrow's my last class, and then I have 5 months off, and I just have to do like our capstones, and that's it. So tomorrow's my last like actual sit-in class. So that's why I haven't been here for the past two episodes when you guys are talking about psych. But I want to thank James for sitting in for me and understanding that I had to, and I want to thank everybody for understanding that I had to work on my final project. But yes, this is a big accomplishment. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you, and I can't wait to celebrate in May.
I know I'm so excited for you to like come and like celebrate, and I'm hopefully like we can videotape it. Everybody can see it and be a part of it. Like I want everybody to be a part of the celebration because it's such a big deal. And I was writing my last paper for my internship today, and I was talking about how we came up with this idea through the internship that I had with TV Grapevine, and how this was just like magic in the making for us, and how this just like came to fruition. And so it's been cool because you've been a part of this last semester with me, and I just think that it's like as the one part is ending, another chapter is beginning. So it's fun. It's exciting.
Yeah, I'm so excited. We'll do a special edition episode of TV Unleashed at your graduation.
Yes, we will. We'll be right where we're supposed to be, which is like an exciting time. And hopefully TV Unleashed will have an even bigger following, and everybody will dress up and encourage me to wear a dress because I don't really want to wear a dress because I don't like wearing dresses. So hopefully all of you guys can change my mind about that.
Hashtag get Mandy in a dress.
Hashtag get Mandy in a dress because Mandy wants to wear like nice shorts because you have to wear those horrible robes. And so I'm kind of like, well, why do I have to wear a dress? But maybe I can just go the Dorothy route and wear really like long culottes and a baggy shirt with shoulder pads and just look fabulous that way. So
Wear her mother of a solid gold dancer outfit that she wore when she dated that priest by mistake.
oh my gosh, that was one of the greatest episodes. It was Father Ted or Father Fred or something, and Frank, it had some name, and she didn't realize it until he came over. That's an episode we have to talk about because that's kind of like a dating mishap, and I think we've all had one of those where like the guy we dated has been like gay or an idiot or a priest or a
I never
scam.
did a priest, but that came out wrong.
A priest.
Anyway, let's get back on topic. Before we get to our Golden Girls recap, we want to talk about some breaking news that's happening. And unfortunately, we have to talk about another scandal. Mario Batali is fired from the Chew, I believe, and stepped down from all his restaurants amid more sexual misconduct accusations. What do you think about this?
Well, from what I've heard, like I mean, I get things very briefly from like Us Weekly on my phone, and it said that he's been stepping down from everything. And I just feel like if you step down from things, that's just basically it's saying, yeah, I did it, and I don't feel like dealing with the backlash and being fired. So he's just basically saying, but all I kept thinking was, like, I don't know what's scarier, the fact that like he was sexually harassing people, or the fact that he was sexually harassing people in those orange Crocs. Like, if if a guy who looked like that came near me with orange Crocs, I'd probably run. So
Be fired just for wearing the orange Crocs. I'm sorry. If you wear those and you own those, no, 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 no.
so that's what I kept thinking in my head. I was like, a man assaulting me in orange Crocs. I can't get on board with that. Like, it's bad enough that we have a man with orange hair and orange skin assaulting women, but now we have a man with orange shoes. Like, pick a lane, people, pick a lane. So that's it just it's like every day. At this point right now, this is becoming like regular news. It's like we wake up every morning, we're like, who's gonna not be on TV today? Because that's just how it's becoming. It's becoming like cereal. What cereal are we gonna have today? Who's gonna sexually assault someone today? That's just it's become commonplace, and you know, it's ridiculous.
It's very scary because these people that we think are decent human beings from what we see end up not being it. And what scares me even more is are these people really being accused of things that are being accused? Is it really happening? Are there so many evil people out there? It's just, it breaks my heart and it scares me.
I think you're just upset because you counted on him on the chew with his orange Crocs to give you food lessons, and now you're not going to get them. But I can honestly tell you that I've watched the chew, and a lot of the things that he's cooked have been disgusting. And so I don't think that you're going to be missing out too much on anything.
No, probably not. I mean, I don't watch The Chew because I work during that time and it just not my type of show, but oh, it's new this week's news that doesn't affect me at all that he's been fired, but I do feel sorry for those that he has assaulted allegedly.
With the orange Crocs. I mean, that's where it boils. I mean, at this point right now, if we cannot laugh in the face of all the crap that's going on in this world, then we've really just lost it all. I mean, today, I guess one of my bosses came by and all of a sudden I hear him say, he's riding in on a horse. And I was like, what are you talking about? We have Fox News on all day. I guess Roy Moore must have come to his election riding on a horse. And I was like, is he watching a Wild Western? Like, what's going on? Like, I mean, in this world nowadays, we just have to laugh at like the little things because we just can't take things too seriously. I think that's why we do this show, is because we've realized that you just can't take life that seriously. That's why I hang candy canes from my ears every year at Christmas time so I can scare my mom. And it's too serious.
Yeah, but let's talk on a happier topic. Dancing with the Stars pro Kim Johnson and Robert Herjavec, I totally butchered his name, from Shark Tank, are having twins. And they fell in love on season 20 in the show. And he knew from the beginning, the minute he saw her, you knew these two were going to get married. It was the most beautiful love story.
It's sweet. Like, at first we found out she was pregnant, and that was like really great because she's 41, and it gave people like us who work really hard in our careers and have put our careers first, and especially somebody like me who's in grad school and I want to like have a career for the next couple of years before I start a family, it gave me hope. And then I was thinking earlier today, I was like, I wonder if she's going to have twins because of her age. And then tonight, it was literally revealed like an hour ago that she found out she was having twins. And her joke was like, well, we figured if we were going to do it now, we would have two of them. And he already has 3 kids from his previous marriage. So I'm really excited. And it was perfect timing for her to have twins because you told me to pick an episode of The Golden Girls for tonight's show. And the episode that I picked, and I already posted it online for you guys in case you guys wanted to follow along, was season 2, episode 1. And it's where it's a taboo topic, but it's Blanche enters menopause. And it all circles back to Kim being pregnant, really, because the episode starts off with Blanche thinking that she's pregnant. And it's just ridiculous because it makes all the women pretty much like pass out because they're like, we're in our 50s. How is this possible? How can you be pregnant in your 50s? And not only that, but she was like 11 weeks late. And she
You think we'd go or take a test before then? I mean, come on now.
I like so many people I know who are like 2 days late, they're freaking out. So I mean, I have an app on my phone that like calculates everything for me. And it's literally like, if you're an hour late, it'll start giving you an alert like, hello, you're an hour late. Do you not know this? And I'm like, hold on.
Calm
down.
Yeah, I think I have that same app. Which one do you have?
I think it's like Period Tracker Light, and it has like a flower, and it tries to make it all like happy and girly. And I'm like, there's nothing happy or girly about this, but you can pretend.
Exactly. And going back to the episode, she takes a pregnancy test and discovers what the color puce is because of the test.
Yeah. The test starts out red, and if it changes color, it means that, or if it stays the same color, it means you're pregnant. And I think if it changes like a weird color and it starts to fade a little bit, and that's why she's kind of unsure. So she shows it to Rose, and Rose is like, oh, it looks like a perfume sample. And Dorothy's like, put it behind your ears, Rose. And she's like, that's puce. She goes, that's the color puce. Oh, yeah, I had drapes like that. And they go into this whole discussion about the color puce. And Dorothy, the entire time, is like, you could be pregnant, and you're talking about the color puce. Really? Like the voice of reason.
Exactly. I would probably be like Dorothy. I'm like, you're worried about the color, but here you are pregnant, and what are you going to do? Especially since she didn't even know who the daddy was. It was a 10-day, 2-week span.
And because she just gotten her teeth bonded, so she was looking rather dashing. So she was like, "Oh, I look so great that week," and so my teeth were good, everything was good. She had her face done, her hair was done, so she was on her game. So the fact that she could have been pregnant was feasible, and she was trying to say that she would be 65 by the time the kid graduated, but Sophia had time to be like more like 70. So she goes to the doctor. At the same time this is all happening, they're trying to make a little extra money by breeding minks so they can make mink coats, which I still don't understand how they even thought that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I think it was a big thing in the 80s having minks, but I never understood the point of that either. And then the minks weren't doing anything, and they were depressed over that. Blanche was depressed over the fact that she wasn't pregnant, but instead going through menopause. So no, Rick, John, Bob, Don, Dave born. And then she's freaking out over menopause to the point where they have to take her to a psychiatrist's office where she has a meltdown. And Dorothy's like, "Get yourself together. You're in a psychiatrist's office." And the psychiatrist is looking at her like, "I don't understand what you're so upset for. It's menopause." And she's trying to explain, and
It was a mess because the whole situation that it comes down to is that she finds out she's not pregnant, and because the women are deciding, the women are saying, "We'll take care of the baby for you, we'll help you out, we'll send him to the University of Minnesota," and Dorothy's like, "Minnesota? He's going to Harvard."
it's a Harvard baby.
He's a Harvard baby, and they're trying to figure this out, and she's like, "It's worse, it's menopause." And then they're talking about like the curse and how like how periods were never actually called periods. They always had weird names about it, and nobody really talked about it. And how then when she finds out she's going through menopause, how Dorothy was saying, "Oh, it was so liberating not to have cramps and not to feel, uncomfortable every month." And I feel that I think about that because I very much would like menopause.
I
And
think every woman would, because going through that every month is no fun. And I don't know, nobody called it a curse when we were growing up. It was just, your period, and that was it. I guess back then it was a taboo topic for ladies to discuss, but
like Blanche was saying, they're like, "I never got the cuss," but then I was like, "But I've had my period since I was 13." So like, yeah, like that's a horrible Blanche impression, but that was like the best I could do. But it's true. It's like when we were growing up, it was for us, it was like a rite of passage. It was like you became a woman. It was like almost like a hormonal bat mitzvah.
exactly, that's the best way to put it. And I just remember like everyone being so excited when they got there as the ladies, and then we're like, really, we have to go through this again? This is no fun. But when you first one was always special.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was like, "Oh, this is great." Now I'm gonna be honest. 23 years later, I cannot believe that I have lived 23 years of my life with this, and according to the doctor, I'm gonna live another like 15 years of my life with it. And I just I don't think that going through menopause, I know that a lot of women might disagree with me, and it's fine if you want to disagree with me. I don't feel like it's a loss of womanhood. I feel like it's almost like
A new
I
stage.
I don't know how to say it right, so I'm gonna probably say it wrong. A maturation, a maturation. I'm trying to say,
I've heard it both ways.
yeah, like it's almost like you no longer can have children, and that's fine because like you're good, and nothing's dried up about you. Like I already feel dried up at 34, so I feel like by then you're okay. Like you get grandkids, you're happy, good, you're fine. I'm okay.
Exactly.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you're all okay, yes. And it's just like they all told their fun stories about that and how they went through menopause, and each woman had a different thing, and they were able to go there, especially in the 80s, to talk about it because it was something nobody really talked about. I mean, even now on TV shows, they really don't talk about it. because I guess it's considered taboo again. I don't know, but at least they were willing to go there with menopause and periods and stuff like that.
Because like I don't even remember like very many TV shows aside from Degrassi really addressing um
And Blossom.
and Blossom, because remember that was a big thing that Six was saying. She's reading the tampon box and she was talking about all the cool things that you could do when you had your period, and she was like, it's like going to camp. And she was like, she was like, so like, horseback riding, swimming, and like they made it seem like a lot more fun than it was. But I don't really ever really remember a lot of shows addressing it the way that it should have been addressed. Even the Babysitters Club didn't address it. And so I think that there was a show called Ready or Not on the Disney Channel.
I remember that show, yes. They were like always at camp or something like that.
They're always doing something fun, and they did. I think they did address that, but like nobody addressed it. And I think that was great that the Golden Girls addressed it, and they addressed the fact that, like, you know, it really isn't a big deal. It just means you can't have kids. And by that time, those women already had kids, and they already had moved on, and they were fine. And then when Blanche found out, like, they realized the minks were actually too old to like reproduce, and that's why they weren't reproducing. And she actually kind of, I think, developed a thing for the doctor, and he still found her like attractive, and she refused to let the minks go just because they were old, and because, you know, just because they were old, I mean, they were getting put out, and it was a full circle kind of thing. It was like the circle of life, that just because we get older and go to new stages of our life, it doesn't mean our life is over.
Exactly,
So,
yeah.
life
And
lessons.
I remember Dorothy said you can put Blanche in a coma, but put a man within 5 feet of her and she'll roll over and shave her legs. So she realized she didn't lose her sexuality, and she still went on to celebrate her sexuality, which was fabulous. So go Blanche.
And that's the thing about Kim from it's Kim Johnson, right? I get her
Yes.
confused with another Kim. There's like so many Kims. The one thing about her is that, you know, she shows that at 41 years old, you can start over, find a new love, and get married and be happy and start a new family. And I think that that's an important thing that women have to remember, is that there is really no timetable. We have a mental timetable, but we really don't. I know that we say we have an expiration date, and I joke around a lot, say, oh, my eggs have an expiration date, but I think that we're okay. We put too much pressure on ourselves. The more pressure we put on ourselves, the harder it's going to be in the long run.
Exactly. And I don't put pressure on myself anymore. I'm like, when it happens, it happens. I mean, I don't want it to happen tomorrow necessarily, but
It's going to happen tomorrow.
when it
Now that you
happens,
said it.
welcome it. Well, it would have to be a really big gift in that case, but you know.
Immaculate Conception. Christmas is right around the corner. Oh, happy Hanukkah to everybody who celebrates. Tonight's the first night of Hanukkah, so I wanted to say that to everybody, because, you know, when we did look back on Blanche's whole lineage, she actually was 1/8 Jewish.
That's right. She was a Feldman.
She was a Yankee Doodle.
Yeah, Yankee Doodle gal. Yes, and then when the episode ended, we found out that the minks started to make a skull, but it was the two male minks, which was quite interesting. In another way, they just went there on the show, which I always thought was quite interesting.
Maybe it was a secret shout out to Coco the cook.
That's possible. I mean, Muffy, Buffy, Fluffy, and Joanne.
Joanne. I mean, could you have come up with more ridiculous? I mean, you had to make the fourth one Joanne.
That was just like so random. We couldn't find another one that runs Muffy, Buffy, Fluffy.
And Stuffy or Huffy or Puffy.
Puffy would have been good. I mean, it was like way before the time of Puff Daddy, but it could have worked.
Right? Like, come on. Come on, what's wrong? But I think because she was so awkward and out of the box that she couldn't have stuck to something that was in line. She had to have like a weird name, like Randy or something. Like, she couldn't have just been like, oh, well, we're going to be fluid with this one. We're going to just. So, yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. That show is just, I love that show. It always just makes me laugh. I listen to it at work sometimes, and just hearing the theme song just makes me happy, and it brings back just so many good memories. And I feel like it's the kind of show that I'm going to play for my kids, and I'm going to miss the Hallmark Christmas movies when they're over, but I'm going to be excited because the Golden Girls will be back on. And on Sunday, this Sunday coming up, speaking of Hallmark Christmas movies, because Candace Cameron Bure is in like every single Hallmark Christmas film there is. She even played twins in one of them. That's how much she's in all these films. Like, she dominates these shows. So Sunday, we're going to be doing a little bit of a Full House thing. We're going to be taking a step back from the Golden Girls, and we're going to be doing a Full House kind of retrospective thing. I don't know. Sammy's going to plan it out because my brain doesn't work. And she's like the creative genius sometimes behind things when my brain is shot from school. And then we're going to go back over kind of what went on in this first part of season 3 of Fuller House, which I'm going to catch up on over the next couple of days because I've only seen up to season 2. And then season 3, second part of Fuller House starts next week.
22nd.
22nd. So we're going to kind of give our thoughts and feelings and kind of prep you guys for the premiere of that, which should be super exciting. You guys can totally binge watch it. I know Sammy's going to she's going to complain she's not sleeping, and then she's going to binge watch the crap out of the show. So that's just how it's going to be. So just expect all of that. And also on Sunday, I'm going to have a full schedule for the next couple of days or for next week of my top recommended Hallmark films for you guys to watch for Christmas movies, because it ties all into Candace Cameron, who played DJ on Full House and on Fuller House, because she really is the Hallmark Christmas movies. I mean, let's be real here. There would be no Hallmark Christmas movies if there was no Candace Cameron.
Exactly. I mean, she's the queen of Hallmark. I mean, just like in the 90s, Nicolette Sheridan was the queen of Lifetime movies, and Tori Spelling was the second in command of Lifetime movie queen. She's amazing, and she's such a good actress that I think that she does a really good job, and I'm excited to see what happens in season 3 of Fuller House. And then we have to debate over, are we Team Matt or Team Steve?
Team Steve. I'm
no,
already putting it out there. No, Team Steve, because there's no way that they're going to end the series, like when they finally decide Fuller House is done and it's over, that they're actually going to end the series with her not being with him. Like, the fans want her to be with him. They don't want her to be with Matt. It's not meant to be like that.
Matt's so hot.
I don't care if he's hot. She needs to be with Aladdin.
Because that's all that matters, that she ends up with a Disney prince.
Exactly. Like, this is for reals. Like, you don't understand. I remember watching the series finale of Full House and her getting ready to go to the prom after little Michelle lost her memory, and Steve showed up at the door to be her date. And it was like, oh, Steve is back after dating all of those losers. And so they bring Steve back, and it's just all great. And now he's back again. And like, you're trying to tell me that they're not going to end up together? Like, I don't even want to hear it.
We will see what happens, but I think it's a little too cliche for my taste. But Stranger
Full
Things.
House is a cliche show. Like, it's not like.
Fair enough. You got me there. But before, I want to go quick back to the episode of the Golden Girls. My favorite moment was when Rose and Dorothy are arguing over the Spanish Fly.
Oh my God. It's actually, what was it? Like, is it actually?
It was actually a beetle, but it was a Spanish fly. But Spanish fly is not a fly.
But it can wear a sombrero.
Yes, and she never wanted to hear Spanish fly again.
It could put a sombrero on it. Dorothy was so mean to Rose. Like, for somebody who was a teacher, she was really mean to her.
She was, but I just think she's one of those people that just can't deal with someone that's that naive and innocent, because she's a tough New Yorker. That's all she knows. That's dealing with someone that's a country bumpkin for all practical purposes. She didn't know how to deal with her. Plus, I heard
she had a low BS tolerance.
Yes, that's true. But I heard B. Arthur and Betty White hated each other in real life. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but I heard they hated each other. So maybe it kind of carried on into the show.
Well, from what I understand, they had both come from, they were both powerful presences. My English is horrible. I'm complaining about like other people in this world. they, I think they came onto the show and B. Arthur had come off of Maude and Betty White had come off of Mary Tyler Moore show. And there was the question of whether or not either one, like who was going to overshadow the other person. And I think there was that actual competition, whether or not she thought that was going to, either one of them thought it was going to happen. And I think there was that weirdness between the two of them. So, I mean, I don't think Betty White would have even thought of anything like that. I think it was more on B. Arthur's side. B. Arthur seemed to be a tough girl, and it was really because of her the show ended. The show could have easily gone on for another couple of seasons, but B. Arthur was done with it. And I think that she was just a hard person. I mean, she was a great actress. She was extraordinarily talented, but she was the kind of person who held so much weight that when she said it was done, it was done.
Exactly. And I think you're right. I think it could have lasted another few seasons. And they tried to do it with Golden Palace, but it just didn't quite have the same magic. And I'm still trying to find episodes for us to snark and recap on our show. But that we got introduced to Cheech Martin in a different role like Chewie, and we learned different things. We found out what really happened to Stan after Dorothy got married.
You know, it's hard because I do want to see episodes of that show again because I have seen it and when it was first on, but it's hard because I still have that anger towards B. Arthur in a weird way because I know that had she stayed around, there wouldn't have that show wouldn't have failed, and not only that, there wouldn't have been a need to have that show. And I know how she intimidated poor little Sophia and made her had to use cue cards and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite interesting. I mean, we never know what really happened, but it's quite interesting when you hear rumors and how things change, especially with Golden Palace. I mean, that was just like the most random show ever. It made absolutely no sense at all.
And there was no Coco either, so it was just done. I was
We
done.
had
I was over
Chewie
it.
though.
I was over. I know, but I was over it. I was over it. I was done. Don Cheadle was on it, but I was over it.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. I mean, I still watch it. I still found it very funny. It was great seeing Blanche, Sophia, and Rose all together. And then they completely changed Miles. They made Miles into a cheating
It was just
bastard with Fern.
it was just hard to watch the show all over again and be like, this is supposed to be the same show that it once was, because we knew it wasn't.
Yeah, they should have just ended it that way. And another thing, I was discussing this with my brother when I went over for Thanksgiving, telling him about the show that we're doing, because actually our show is basically inspired by my brother's podcast, B Movie Bros, because they do the same thing that we do, only with B movies. But anyway, we were discussing the series finale of Golden Girls, and I feel like he said that he watched it with me. He said he feels like it was a little too rushed, and I think he's right. I think the relationship between her and Lucas could have been spread out a little more.
I think that it could have, but by the same token, it happened the way that it was supposed to be because it was not supposed to be a relationship. It was just supposed to be like a quick thing, and that was it. It wasn't even supposed to be anything. It was just she was just supposed to be taking him out to get him out of the house. And we can't get into it because if we get into it, then we're gonna start talking about it. We have to save that for another time, and we can't talk about it. We just can't because I'm gonna get really passionate about it because it makes me sad when I think about the show ending.
Yes, that's true. So we'll say that for a future episode. And we are out of time already.
But
Sad
don't doubt
face.
there won't be another scandal by Sunday because I guarantee you we're gonna have another one.
Knock on wood, no more scandals. I'm done with them.
We'll know tonight if Roy Moore has been voted in or not. So that'll be definitely scandalous. We'll know by Thursday if net neutrality has been repealed. So that'll definitely be scandalous. So there's a lot going on this week that's definitely going to impact how our show goes on Sunday. So I'm looking forward to breaking news for you guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody again on Sunday. And by then, I will be pretty much a graduate. So thank you guys again. Thank you again, James, for filling in for me for 2 nights. And thank you, Sammy, for giving me the time and for making the accommodations. And I'm happy to be back.
Yes, and we're happy to have you back. And don't forget, Sunday's show is 1 hour long because we're doing the first half hour dedicated to Full House, second half hour dedicated to Fuller House. And we will be preparing you all for part 2 of season 3, where we find out what happens after Japan. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Anyway, thank you all for tuning in and see you Sunday. Bye.
Bye.